How to make your very own one-shot macro. Step 1. Do you know what the global cooldown is? This is the cooldown that starts whenever you cast a spell, preventing you from casting another spell until it's finished. Typically, it's abbreviated to GCD. Most spells have a 1.5 second GCD, although some classes have a 1 second GCD, Death Knight, Rogues, Hunters, etc. For classes that don't have a baseline 1 second GCD, Haste will lower it down from 1.5 seconds to 1 second minimum, except for a few classes and specs who always have a 1.5 second GCD that cannot be lowered. Certain abilities are GCD free. Typically, these are abilities specifically designed to be triggered at the same time as a second ability. Spells like Power Infusion or Spirit Shell from my priest do not trigger the GCD. The simplest way to tell if a spell is GCD free is to just test it out yourself. If you can cast a second spell instantly afterwards, it's GCD free. If you need to wait a second or so, then it isn't. What's interesting to note is that you can theoretically cast all of your GCD free abilities at once if put into a macro, and that's what most one-shot macros are. But in addition to spells, trinkets and potions can both be used without triggering your GCD, and thus macroed into your very own one-shot macro. But wait, there's more, especially if you're a pet class. Pet abilities are on their own GCD separate from your own, and they even have some GCD-free abilities just like you do. So, in addition to putting all of your GCD-free abilities, plus your rotation starter, plus your trinket and potion, you can also put in a line for /pet attack, plus your pet's GCD-free abilities and their rotation opener. Oh, I'm sorry, I get ahead of myself. What's a rotation opener? It's the spell you put into your super macro that actually is on the global cooldown, but it's the only spell actually on the GCD that you'll be putting in this massive macro. The spell you choose is based on your class and the purpose of the macro. Now that you know what to put in your macro, let's make one. I'm going to hop on my BM Hunter to try this out. First, I'll check all of my spells to see what's on and off the global cooldown. Next, I'll open up the macros page and press the new macro button. The icon you choose doesn't matter, but the name is important. One-shot macro YOLO. For the win. In the first line, you're going to want to type in #show tooltip to put the icon tooltip you want to show for the macro. I'll choose Bestial Wrath since that's what BM is all about. Next, go through and type in /cast followed by the name of all your spells. For convenience, you can just shift-click the spell and the icon in the spell book to automatically put the name of the spell into your macro text. Once you have every single ability that's GCD free plus your rotation opener, type in /pet attack. That way your pet will always attack your one-shot macro target, plus its cooldowns as well. Then, to add your trinkets, engineering gloves, or potions, just type in /use instead of cast, followed by their names or equipment slot number. Gloves are slot number 10, trinkets are 13 and 14. After you have all that done, simply drag your one-shot macro onto your action bar. I have all the abilities of my one-shot macro to the right, and watch as they all go off at the same time when I press it. Now, Intimidation didn't go off because... I don't know. And that's how you make your very own one-shot macro. Now, if you want a macro that's actually useful, go look that information up somewhere else.